With Silvercrin, the UK's #1 hairspray, you're set for the day, all day. Silvercrin by Weller, for life's little dramas. When you drive T-Bow's wheels 'cause you found a great deal, that's amore. So to be in the know, come test drive a T-Bow, that's amore.
The new Fiat Tipo, from £159 per month with 0% APR. Amore for less. 2699 customer deposit, 6639 optional final payment. Term 24 months. Fiat Tipo is 1.4, 95 HP, PCP sales only, 10,000 annual mileage until the 31st of December 2016, subject to status, Fiat Financial Services.
Late Nights with Ian Collins on LBC.
Other stories around today that we will be looking at. Does it matter if you wear a poppy? Donald Trump is in the lead with 1 week to go. And Michael Heseltine choked his mother's dog. That's not, by the way, a bizarre euphemism. It's the story of something that happened back in the, I think, the 60s or something. Tell you more about that a little later. Extraordinary story. So it didn't kill the dog, he said, just choked it. Had it put down the next day. You know, I should do. 0345 6060973. Back on the phones with you in just a second. Reference the treatment of Lewis Smith, the Olympian. I also want to talk about this. More than 100 Muslim women have complained about their treatment under 2 government probes into Sharia law. The inquiries, and remember, one of these was ordered by Theresa May when she was Home Secretary, another by the Home Affairs Select Committee, are ongoing. Let's speak to Kola Hassan, scholar with the Islamic Sharia Council, who gave evidence at the Home Affairs Select Committee earlier today. So, Kola, just put some meat on the bones for this for us, if you would. What's the state of play so far, and what has upset the apple cart to the point that these 100 women have made this complaint?
Good evening.
Hi.
I'm not quite sure why these 100 women have made the complaint. They're saying that they're being given a hard time they're being used as political footballs, apparently, is the language they've used.
Yeah, that's correct.
And they're not being given, their voices are not being heard, basically.
Go on, carry on, sorry.
The government, the 2 reviews, the review today and the Sharia board review, are only talking to experts, but they're not speaking to ordinary women.
Yeah. I understand that they said the aim was to ban Sharia courts, not reform them, is what they thought. What's your position on this? You were there today giving evidence at the Home Affairs Select Committee. What did you feel, or why did you feel you were called to give evidence, and what do you think was achieved?
I think the evidence was very much about what is the state of play. Should the Sharia councils be banned? Should they be reformed? I don't know what the final conclusion is going to be. Obviously, that's going to be written up and presented sometime next year. But they heard a wealth of evidence today. I was there from 2 till 6. So they heard a very anti-Islamic law lobby, and they also heard a very pro-Sharia council lobby like myself. I don't know what the conclusion is going to be, but I think the women were annoyed about the fact that they were even contemplating listening to voices saying Sharia councils can be either reformed or they can be in some way governed.
I guess it depends on who's making the complaint, doesn't it? And if many of these women have felt that these councils or courts have dealt a blow of injustice to their situation, you can perhaps understand why they feel as they do. But of course, your position is very different on this. You believe that there is a real place for Sharia councils in this country.
I do. I think the work we're doing, because Muslims are a minority in this country, so we cannot turn to state for any issues to do with our faith. So if people have got questions about, new issues that are constantly coming up, it could be, I don't know, IVF or organ transplants or, dolly the sheep, or all sorts of issues are constantly coming up for Muslims where they think, well, is my faith in conflict with, modern changes, technological advances, etc. So you've got all those sort of issues that are constantly coming up. The state just cannot help. We have religious marriages. A lot of Muslims, a huge amount, possibly up to 60% of Muslims, we're not quite sure, do not have civil marriages. When they get married, they just have a religious marriage only. So they're not protected by the state. When it comes to divorce, state cannot intervene because it says, sorry, we don't recognize your religious marriage. Where can they go? They go to the Sharia Council, which helps them. There's a lot of forced marriages. People are coming to us in a way that if a young girl has been forced into a marriage, she's not going to go running to the stage.
What are they used for mostly, Kola? I mean, we have, there's a lot of misinformation about Sharia courts. I think some people are under the impression that they function like a criminal court and can authorise execution if they don't like somebody. But of course, it's none of that kind of thing. These are civil matters, largely speaking. Yeah. What's a typical case that a Sharia court would hear?
I think the vast majority that a typical council would hear would be a religious divorce where the woman is either being kept in an abusive marriage and her husband's refusing to divorce her, or he's abandoned her, he's disappeared, she cannot get hold of him, and she cannot get a divorce because he's not registered anywhere with her. So she comes to us, and we actually can help because Islamic law allows panels of scholars like ourselves to dissolve a marriage where the husband is not giving consent or has disappeared.
Listen, Kola, we will, I'm sure, be covering this again as this story develops. It's not over yet. Kola Hassan, scholar with the Islamic Sharia Council, gave evidence today at the Home Affairs Select Committee. Of course, it's not unusual that to have a civil approach to religious matter. I think Jews in this country have done it for a number of years. Sharia councils doing a similar thing. Some are uncomfortable with some of the subject areas that they deal with, and there is a sense that across the board here that perhaps some women are not getting what they feel is an equal and reasonable treatment within them, and that perhaps is something the Home Affairs Select Committee will reflect in their findings. 0345 6060 973. Let's get back to the issue we're discussing here, and that is the British Olympic gymnast Lewis Smith, banned for 2 months over a video in which he giggled like a fool as his friend mimicked Islamic prayer practices. Extraordinary decision in that, well, firstly, the idea that he's done anything wrong is laughable, but secondly, what this has to me done is drawn attention even further to something that would have probably just gone away. Imran is in Hounslow. What are your thoughts, Imran? Good evening.
Hi, good evening, Ian.
Hi.
I'd like to ask you a question. If there really is such a thing as freedom of speech in the Western world, why is it that people who make homophobic comments have action taken against them? I'm more than happy to give you a recent example. Burnley striker Andre Gray, homophobic tweets dating back to 4 years, made in 2012, and he's banned for 4 games.
Sure. I'm surprised it was only 4, because that's, of course, a criminal offence.
So, okay, if that's a criminal offence, then...
Like racism is a criminal offence.
Right.
Having a joke at someone's religion isn't.
No, offending somebody, whether it's a crime or not, if you're gonna dish out punishment for making homophobic comments, why not dish out punishment for insulting somebody's religion?
Well, so we'd have to make it for all things that offend people then. Well, punishment for all offence.
What's the definition for offensive?
Well, the law is quite clear on it at the moment that it is illegal. Homophobia and racism come under that category of illegality. If you were inciting religious hatred, then that would also come under the category of illegality, and it would be a criminal matter. But if you're joshing about something within a faith, then that doesn't come under the category of criminal behaviour.
No, but you're still offending, aren't you? You're inciting.
Hang on. In that case, we would be.
What it looks like, Ian.
We'd be sending people to court every day, wouldn't we?
Ian. What it looks like, it appears to me that you're turning a blind eye to insults to Islam. That's
Correct.
What it looks like.
Well, I hope I am. That's what I'm trying to do.
I reckon you're going to cut me off. I reckon, give not even a 30 seconds, you'll probably cut me off.
Well, I've never cut anybody off in my life,
Ian, you've dedicated, you have not dedicated a show, but you've spent a good couple of minutes talking about this gymnast. Well, why is it that when Andre Gray, the Burnley striker, got banned in September of this year for 4 games, there was no mention on your show, as far as I remember?
Well, we could extend that logic all day long. This happens to be a very high-profile story. It was high-profile at the time. The news today has broken that he's been banned from representing his country. By the way, can I draw your attention to the same comparisons I made about constantly in this hour? You mentioned something about Islam, about Christianity, Jerry Springer, the opera, Dave Allen has cropped up, the Monty Python team, Father Ted, all of those other areas as well. It's about religion, not about Islam.
Ian, the thing is, right, they are high-profile people, sportsmen, whatever they are, whether they're politicians, right? People look up to them, right? They should not be insulting other people's views, their
how would you police that?
They should be a role example.
So how do they do that all day long? They'd have to be walking around with their mouth closed 24/7. So what if they, like, for example, okay, today I was walking into work and a cyclist jumped a red light and nearly run me over. Now, this happens all the time because two wheels in this city doesn't work very well, and two wheels and red lights simply don't go together. Now, I made my protestations to said cyclist, and he made his protestations to me, and eventually we parted amicably. But if I'd just called him, I don't know, some inflammatory remark, could he then sue me for offending him?
Well, that's a debate for another day.
Wait, no, but you're talking about offending people. You're talking about offending people.
Ian, there's a different form here, right? What I'm trying to say is they did not have to make this clip. Whoever made this clip, right? They've made the clip. They're mocking. There is no need.
They didn't make a clip. Somebody filmed. They were doing loads of things, and in the middle of it, somebody said they were acting out different films, and it got to the point where somebody said, "What about Aladdin?" And somebody grabbed a mat off a wall. They sat on the mat to act out Aladdin, and while the guy was there, he started mocking Islamic prayers, and the gymnast concerned, who wasn't doing the mocking, he was doing the laughing, has now paid a price because somebody leaked the footage. What do you really believe, Imran, is wrong with that?
I think there should be equal treatment, right? If the Andre Gray, the Burnley striker, that's just an example I've given you.
Okay.
If he's made, just because it's the law, right? That's the law. It doesn't matter if it's the law.
Doesn't matter if it's the law. That's extraordinary. So we'd have to put. So if I decide I am offended by Father Ted, all of the writers and actors have to go to jail.
If I offend your mother, this is a very good example. If I offend your mother, you're going to sit there and say freedom of speech. Right?
No, I can be annoyed by you offending my mum.
You're going to be annoyed. You're going to be hurt, right? So what I'm trying to say.
Yes, but I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to withdraw your livelihood for what you did, Imran.
Well, if you're.
I'm not going to suggest that you don't have any earning capacity because you insulted my mum.
Right. Now, I'm not saying. Listen.
I don't think you know what you're saying, do you really?
No, hang on. You're going to cut me off, aren't you? Ian,
you keep saying that. I've still not cut you off.
Listen. Ian, I'm not saying that he should have his livelihood cut off. What I'm saying is if you're going to dish out one punishment for offending gay people, then you should the same punishment should be dished out for offending other people's beliefs and religions.
All right. Okay, Imran, you've made the point clear. If anybody would like to contradict or go up against Imran's point, thank you to him. 0345 6060 973. Of course, the issue isn't just about causing offence. That would be, which is why Imran's point, forceful as it was in fact ridiculous, because we would be here all day, wouldn't we? We could say, well, I'm offended at that, so that requires an apology and a robust response from this authority and that authority. There will be somebody listening to this hour, by the way, who will probably be offended by things I've said, and they will beautifully edit only the bits that feed into their offence, as kind of Imran did, really. He talked about it being a pop at Islam, when of course it's quite clear from the beginning, and my words were very clear as well. I opened this show by saying we've arrived in a very dark place on our evolutionary journey when we cannot mock, joke or lampoon religion. Religion, it happens to be an Islamic story here, but based on his hypotheses, I should then be able to sue the writers of Father Ted or have some action equal to that of a homophobic response if I'm offended by it. That's what he said, really, wasn't it? That it should be treated the same. So shouting at somebody and offending them and mocking them because of their sexuality would be the same as their religion. I'm afraid I don't buy into that for a whole bullet point list of reasons, and I'm sure most of you would probably concur. But if you want to argue against his point, 0345 6060 973.
Late Nights with Ian Collins on LBC. Andre Rieu, the king of waltz, and his amazing Johann Strauss Orchestra brings his worldwide sellout arena tour back to the UK in December. Enjoy Rieu at his best with melodies from musical, opera, and of course with beautiful waltzes. Book your tickets now at andrerieu.com.
If you're a buy-to-let landlord or property developer, getting access to finance can be a bit of a headache, unless you speak to those friendly people at Cufflink Bridging. Cufflink Bridging offers bridging loans starting from £30,000. You could call it short-term finance for property professionals like you. Fast, flexible, reliable. Cufflink Bridging. Find out more at lendingtogether.co.uk.
Cufflink Bridging is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Your property may be repossessed if you do not keep up to date with repayments.
Do you dream of holding the key to your first home? Western Home's new first-time Secure Buy scheme could make that dream come true. As a unique and exclusive offer to help first-time buyers purchase off plan, you could secure the plot of your choice at any Western Homes development with just a £500 reservation fee followed by a 5% deposit. This offer can also be used in conjunction with a government Help to Buy scheme. Safe, secure, and yours. For full terms and conditions, visit western-homes.com.
Zingflowers.com. Fresh, hand-tied bouquets with easy online ordering.
Zing flowers are amazing every time. Homebase has home decorating at always low prices. Like all 2.5-litre Crown Standard coloured emulsion, just £13. Homebase, always low prices.
I am Thoradin.
You're Colin.
I roam my homestead fighting for truth and justice.
He actually roams his home dressed as a Viking.
I protect the weak.
And at Aviva, we protect Colin's home. But you don't have to be a Viking to get our 5-star home insurance from just £99 for even the most unique homeowners. Go to aviva.co.uk. Based on customers who bought Aviva Buildings and Contents Insurance from April to June 2016, we expect 10% to pay £99 or less, priced individually.
When you drive T-Bow's wheels 'cause you found a great deal, that's amore. So to be in the know, come test drive a T-Bow, that's amore.
The new Fiat Tipo, from £159 per month with 0% APR. Amore for less. 2699 customer deposit, 6639 optional final payment, term 24 months. Fiat Tipo Easy 1.4, 95 HP, PCP sales only, 10,000 annual mileage until the 31st of December 2016, subject to status, Fiat Financial Services.
Late Nights with Ian Collins on LBC.
I'm also inundated, I think it's fair to say, with a lot of Muslim listeners who really are not offended in any shape or form by what this guy has done, and don't at any level believe he should have been banned or anything. Peter Johnson on Twitter says, all I see is a couple of youngsters having a laugh. Why are religious folk so touchy? What are they afraid of? If Smith sues, the burden is on the UK government gymnastics to prove that he's a racist or a Islamophobe or whatever term they choose to use today. I've posted the little clip. It's not the greatest quality, but it will give you an idea of what happened at this incident. If you follow me on Twitter now, at Ian Collins UK, the clip is there. It's about a minute long or something like that, and you will see mostly that it's not actually Lewis Smith, it's Luke Carson, who's a retired gymnast who's mimicking Islamic prayers, and Lewis's big crime appears to be kind of laughing at it and doing nothing to stop it. So I posted the video. If you've not seen it, it was about 6 weeks ago, I guess, when this first came to light. A friend, some friend he is, who leaked it to a newspaper, exposed it, and now British Gymnastics have made their decision, and they've decided that he should be banned for 2 months. And of course that'll have a knock-on effect, because there might be people who wanted to sponsor or endorse him who might think twice now because they've made such a song and dance about it. But if you follow me on Twitter, look at the video yourself and decide for yourself whether you think it's so offensive that a man's livelihood should be removed for what happened. At Ian Collins.